Howdy, folks. It is me. And it's not really late night, but it's still something's been weighing on my mind today. And I needed to talk. Interesting fact. Sometimes when you have a wound, you need to let it bleed. Yeah, weird, strong start, huh? Physically, sometimes we need the pressure from that area to be abated before we can go ahead and stop the bleeding, because it's just going to cause more pressure, more backup. That being said, we don't need to bleed out. So we need to find a balance of when is it bled enough? When do we stop the bleeding? This is something that we need to do on all levels that we exist. Physical, mental, emotional, etc. When we feel that we are under the thumb of the world and there is no hope, when we feel we are beaten, when we are down and we don't see the world and we can't see the world around us, we need to stop and we need to take stock in our world. We need to talk to another. We need to seek out those connections instead of closing ourselves off. A lot of the times we'll take and just lock ourselves away from the rest of the world. We'll try to hide. We'll try to get away from everyone and everything, but it doesn't always help. It's not really the right way to go when we do that. We need to seek help. We need to reach out our hands. We need to say, I hurt. We also need to stop, and when we see those folks around us, reach out and say, how can I help? Often, when I'm having issues, just the mere act of someone reaching out and saying, how can I help? Helps. They haven't done anything yet, but say, hey, something doesn't look right. Is there something I can do to help? What can I do? Sometimes that's enough to start the road to recovery. But also, a lot of times we'll sit there and be like, no. And again, we'll try to distance ourselves. And one, humankind is actually a pack animal. We do need others around. When we lock ourselves away, when we block ourselves away, sometimes there are issues. And we'll disconnect, and that disconnection just exacerbates the problem, makes things worse. So we need to stop, breathe, and talk to folks. Talking to a professional is best. If you can't get to a professional, I do want to remind people that there is the 988 National Mental Health Crisis Lifeline. And you can also go to https://samhsa.gov to find folks that can help. Sometimes, though, turning to a friend, turning to a loved one can help as well. We need to talk out our problems. Sometimes just talking out loud, just using someone or something as a sounding board, or hell, even pulling out your phone and using your voice recording app and just prattle away for however long you need and play it back. And sometimes you'll get some help. You'll have a sounding board. You'll be like, hey, yeah, with that, I can turn and I can pivot and I can go to here. But sometimes we need to open up those internal wounds, let them bleed, and talk to other folks. Sometimes that pressure, by keeping things pent up, causes more issues. It causes doubt. It separates you. It makes you feel less human. Sometimes it makes you feel like you don't deserve to draw breath. You don't deserve the wonderful people in your life. You don't deserve the wonderful things in your life. And let me tell you something, you do deserve wonder and amazement and awesomeness in your life. But in order for us to do that, we can't just sit in a cave and be like, nope, it's all right. I don't care that fire's all around. We'll get through this. We're all right. Sometimes we need to go out and we need to seek other people and talk to other people and be in the presence of other people and feel that connection. Let that sink in for a second. Sometimes we need other people to be able to feel that connection. Sometimes that connection can help on the road. My health is in the toilet. You know, my boss just left me. My boss just left me. My boss just fired me. My significant other just left me. You know, these lowest points in our life can be made better by other people being there. Now, that being said, don't force yourself on other people when they are having their issues by saying, nope, Rich said we need other people. I got to be around you in this moment of darkness, in this moment of pain, because sometimes other people need the right moment before they can accept help, before they can accept that hand, before they can accept that love. You can't go out and just force another person to accept that. They have to reach out for it. Because if they don't reach out for it, they are going to harden their heart against it. They're going to harden their mind against it. And there is nothing you can do to get through that. So don't force something, but here's something to think about. You know, I haven't seen Bob in a while. I wonder how he's been. Let me shoot him a quick text. Hey, how's it going? Are you okay? You want to go grab a soda? You want to go grab a beer? You want to go grab coffee? Something. You know, someone in your life that you care about that is distancing themselves or has seemed to have dropped off the face of the earth. Send him a quick message. Hey, you okay? How's it going? Sometimes they're not okay. Sometimes they just got busy. Sometimes they're not okay. So that's one thing to think about is, hey, people are having issues. Maybe I need to go have a talk. Maybe they need an ear, or if it's text, an eye. Sometimes it's like, God, no, family life's just crazy. Kids have a bunch of games and plays and ballet and ninjutsu or whatever the hell other families do. But, it's just sometimes we just need a hand. Sometimes we forget how far in the weeds, how far away from everyone else we've crawled. If you're hurting, seek professional help if you can. If not, go to the next best thing. There's an old saying. Which knife is best for a situation? The answer for those who are survival and prepper inclined and camping inclined, stuff like that, is the one that you have. Now, that being said, this isn't the best thing to get through chopping wood or something of that nature. But if you have to, you'll find a way to get it done. For right now, use the tool that's in hand. If you can't find the right one. And while still looking for the right one, continue to use the tools that you have. Because otherwise you just stop. And not the collaborate and listen way. You just stop. You freeze. I can't do it. I don't have what it takes. Well, yeah, it takes a while to chop down a tree with a pocket knife, but it can be done if you really, really have to. It just takes a while. But you can get started while still looking for that axe, while still looking for that chainsaw. So just bear that in mind. Keep that in mind, that sometimes we do need to seek out other people and be in the presence of other people in order to heal properly. And sometimes we need to be in the presence of the right person. Sometimes that person needs to be a medical professional or a mental health professional. Nothing wrong with it. There's a difference between being battered and being broken. Don't allow yourself to be broken. Things are coming. Things are hurting. Find the right people to help you. Though my wife doesn't believe it, she's one of the first people I come to when I can finally stop being a jackass and admit I need another person. Now, being a father, being a husband, my situation is I was fed a lot of toxic masculinity bullshit when I was younger. Men aren't supposed to have feelings. Men aren't supposed to cry. Men aren't supposed to blah, 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 blah. And a lot of that influenced my way of thinking. A lot of that influenced my way of going about my life. And for a good portion of my life, I'm like, well, I don't care if I'm a real man, because you know what? Those are more harmful. Those are bullshit. But there's still part of me that when I start losing hope, when I start losing my light, when I start losing my way, I clam up. I don't want to be a burden on other people. If I'm having these problems, so are other people. If I add to their weight, things will happen, blah, blah, blah. And to a degree, that's right. You don't want to add to other people's problems. But if you show you're having issues, if you admit you're having issues, other people can come and choose to help. Here's a scary thing. There's a lot of people out there who are selfless enough, who are loving enough to help. They are being the change they want to see in the world. Where do we hear that? I spout that a lot lately. Be the change you want to see in the world. Just because I'm having an issue doesn't mean I can't help you with yours. And here's the crazy thing. Sometimes my ability to help someone else with theirs helps with mine. Odd how that helps and happens and works sometimes. Here's a marriage tip for folks. For better or for worse, in sickness and in health, are words that we speak in our ceremonies for traditional vows. That's not just taking your loved one in their times of sickness, in their times of worse. It is also making sure that they are able to see you and help you in your time of worse. Let that sink in. Sometimes we have to open ourselves up to our significant other in our times of pain, in our times of hurting, so that they can be there for us. That vow works both ways. We accept them in their time, and they accept us in our worst as well. We need to let them be there for us in our worst time. I'll admit, this past year, I have been in a lot of my worst. Last year, our landlord sold our house out from under us, so we had to move. We ended up moving in with my dad for a couple of months. Found this place, got in this place. 2 weeks later, my dad passed away. So, and then with Misty's health issues, we've had some financial issues this year that there's a lot of really great people out there who are reaching out, who are giving a hand, who are being the change they want to see in this world. So we have to remember to be that for our loved one as well. We have to allow them to be the change they want to be in this world by helping us in our darkness. Because here's another thing. When you do lock yourself away, you become a major asshole. you are feeling pain. You are lashing out at the tiniest thing because you aren't thinking that it's this other thing. You're thinking it's another thing trying to needle and try to add pain and try to add to your burden. I know I do. Mental health is something that gained a stigma that people nowadays are really trying to break that stigma. They're really trying to break that. But you're going to still have your individuals who are so traditional. They're like, we're not supposed to show that in public. Stop that. You know, your issues are your own fault. A lot of those people probably feel that their issues are their own fault, and that's why they're firing back and they're pushing back on you getting your help that you need because they think that should be a secret thing. No. By doing that, by doing our problems should be locked away, and then all you're doing is making a society of people who are hurt and brittle and on the verge of breaking. Open up. So, to put my money where my mouth is, if you are having issues, if you are in that place of darkness, reach out. If you're on my Facebook, PM me. If you're on YouTube, write a comment. We'll find a way that you and I can talk one-on-one. No cameras, nothing, and we'll just talk. Trying to remember what my email address is for this side of it. And when I remember what that is, I will actually start posting it and sharing it around for folks. For my crazy Uncle Dick, enough of that, Bucky. Boy, do not use that tone of voice with me. Actually, he's barking at the cat. But anyways, I love my ugly cat. I've got two ugly cats and a cat. Two miniature pinchers and an actual cat. Anyways, sorry, I digress. Squirrel. They tried to shiny squirrel me, but I survived. I do have an email account I created just for the crazy Uncle Dick side of things, so that when I do stuff like this and I do have these talks and put this stuff out, that folks can go ahead and send to that, and it's something I can check on and not get lost in all the AARP spam and scam emails that I receive on my personal email account. But as soon as I find that, in fact, actually, you know what? Let me just I found it. I think it's lifelessons.uncledick@gmail.com. Life lessons, period, or if you're in the UK, full stop, uncledick@gmail.com. Um, but anyways, go ahead, and if you need to vent or rant or just open yourself up so that you've got time to heal, feel free to reach out to that email address. We'll talk. We'll see what we can do to go ahead and help each other start limping down that road. Limping down that road to recovery. I want to get to that other side. And I want to take as many people that are hurting and battered and downtrodden and just on their last moment and can't go any further. I want to bring as many of those people with me as possible. I want to find my way to healing, and I want other people to find their way to healing as well. I want to be a change and a force for good in this world. With all that being said, I've almost reached a half hour here. So I will go ahead and I will end this as it's now she went for you to start dinner so that Misty has something hot and ready when she gets home. So, light, love, happiness. Light, love, laughter, happiness, and hope to everybody. I'll learn to speak one of these days. It's not like I do it for a living. But seriously, folks, light, love, laughter, hope, and happiness to everyone. Because that's what we need to survive. We need that light to guide our way. We need that love to support us. We need that laughter so that we can go ahead and see that it is not the end of the road. We have somewhere to go, which brings us to hope. And having all of that is a path to happiness. I love you all. Thank you for sitting here and enjoying. Well, not necessarily enjoying. Thank you for coming and enduring. Hopefully you enjoyed some of what I had to say, and hopefully some of what I had to say is something that can help and point a path and brighten your life. Much love to everyone. Be good. Be safe.